put the phone like that for a second, because that's going to how it's going to be. All right, I'm taking a Q-tip, which I cut in half, and I'm putting brown 2, the darker of the two choices, here, and another dot of it there. Then I'm taking another half Q-tip, and I'm skipping over a space and putting a dot, this is brown 1 of it there, and a dot of it brown, that got on my phone. And now I'm going to take a third piece of Q-tip and mix the two. It's probably going to be mostly, I think the brown 1 is so diluted. I haven't used these in years. And I'm going to put that mixture in between. The client's brow is right there. But this is the basic way that you test pigment, what pigment you're going to use. And as far as the details of a given pigment, that, oh, it runs warm, it runs yellow, it runs ashy, I really can't go capture all of that in this one video, because I discussed it in that one post, and if that post was too technical, then we just have to work with what we have here. So then what you do on the client is you're going to take, and this is not with Beauty Angels, you can't do this with Beauty Angels. Take your one cotton swab and spread it out like that. Then the middle one, spread it out like that. And then the lightest one, spread it out like that. And tell the client that, give them a mirror and say, this is what as dark as your brow is expected to look like today. I wish I didn't have such glare on that. There we go. This is what it's likely to fade to, as far as lightness, not tone. The middle one is a mixture. So this is brown 2, which is considered universal brown, which I think is probably too dark for that client, but since you're going to be doing shading, that kind of complicates things a little bit. The middle one is 50-50 brown 1 and brown 2, with the darker blob being what it would look like today, and the lighter blob, the lighter spread out part, being what it's going to look like when it fades. And then the final dot is brown 1, and faded out is right there. So you always want to drop down one color when you're doing shading. So let's suppose that you chose to do the strokes with brown 2, then you could do the shading with the combo 50-50 brown 1 and brown 2, or with just brown 1. Or you could do the strokes with the 50-50 brown 1 and brown 2, and the shading with just brown 1. But everything depends on whether you have SUP or SUPE. These are SUP. SUPE, the yellow molecules are somewhat larger than in the SUPE, which leads to a little bit more graying. So what that translates to is, if you get above brown 2, you do need to add some warm effect to counteract that. But below brown 3, I mean, brown 2 down, you don't really need to add a modifier. But nevertheless, the client may still gray out. I mean, it's important to stress, this is how light it will get. But the tone, this is what you say, I cannot guarantee the tone. Like, this might look warm to you. This might look cool to you. I can't guarantee what your immune system is what dictates the tone. I don't know that. I'm not, your immune system and I are not one. So then, you know, you're looking at the brow, and together you guys are making the decision of what to go with. Often the client will say something like, well, I don't know, what do you think? And always start with the lightest. I mean, in this case, don't start with brown 1 because there's nowhere to go below that except golden brown, which is really for like platinum blondes. She's not that. I don't even think that necessarily brown 1 should be included in this equation, but I don't know. But when in doubt, start with the lighter color, like the mixture of the brown 1 and brown 2, and shading with the brown 1. And then when she comes back for touch-up, you can darken it. And you can also at that time add red effect or warm effect if you need. Now, just because this is 50-50 doesn't mean that's what you have to do. You could make it so that it's 2 parts brown 2 and 1 part brown 1. And that kind of thing. I just typically show these 3, you know, darkest, lightest, middle, because I'm mixing it up in my ring. So I don't really have a lot of room to be fiddling around with 4 different colors. But if the client is seeing